Hello, dear friends. Life isn't a game or a school, but rather a dirty trick, according to Louis Garry. What kind of school erases your memory of what you have learnt? What kind of game cheats you with marked cards and where you suffer abuse and injustice? This seems more like a prison planet. The good news is that we are defeating the jailers. Opinion piece. Life after reset. Digital cleanup. Invisible transition. New quantum internet. We are in the final stretch. Science before the blackout. The world is reaching its limit. Quantum dawn in a new world. There will be clarity, not confusion. Let's start. Life after the new internet will be a world where the signal is no longer controlled by fear, according to Guardian Daniel. A world where access is no longer used as a weapon. A world where people are no longer forced to rely on fragile platforms. A world where digital identity is no longer open to thieves. A world where communication is protected, where financial activity isn't trapped behind outdated doors, and where technology serves people once again. This new world will not be one of panic, but of order, not of confusion, but of clarity, and not of exposure, but of protection. The old network had its time. It connected the world but couldn't protect it. The new internet will do both. Connect and protect. Facilitate movement and security. Offer open access and defend identity. It brings speed but also brings trust. That is the future being prepared. The old internet was the beginning. The new network will be the foundation. Life after the new internet will show the world what digital freedom was always meant to become. The old signal is fading, and the new connection is rising. A life after the new internet will belong to those who were ready for change. Fragility. There will come a time when people will look back on the old internet and wonder how the world lived within such a fragile system for so long. A world where accounts could be stolen in seconds, where identities could be copied, and where fake links whipped out wallets. A world where private data was collected, sold, exposed, and used without consent. A world where platforms controlled access, messages disappeared, payments failed, and people were forced to trust systems that were never truly built to protect them. The world is reaching its breaking point. The new internet will not be just another upgrade. It will have a different foundation. Life behind the new internet will be within a protected digital structure, cleaner, stronger, faster, more secure, and built with security at its core. People will not be forced to navigate broken digital pathways riddled with deception, hidden tracking, weak identity systems, and silent control. The new network will be built for protection, access, communication, and financial freedom in a way the old internet could never provide. But before people can live within the new structure, they need to understand why the old one had to fail. The old internet broke because it could no longer protect what it carried. The signs appeared before the blackout. The signal dimmed because the old rails were no longer strong enough. The digital cleanup began because the corruption, weakness, and hidden control had to be removed before the new protocol could emerge. Quantum Internet. The transition may not happen all at once, according to Gary and Daniel. It may come in phases and may begin quietly. It may initially appear through devices, identity layers, secure access systems, financial rails, and protected communication channels before the full picture becomes clear, but the direction is already set. The old Internet is losing its authority because it can no longer protect what it carries. The new protocol is coming because the new era demands something stronger. The new Internet is not about fear but about protection. It's about preparing humanity for a digital future where freedom and security can coexist. It's about building a foundation that the old network could never provide. It's about moving from exposure to protection, from weakness to strength, from control to access, and from confusion to clarity. The old Internet was the beginning. The new Internet will be the foundation, and the new protocol is coming. Architecture. The physical implementation of the Golden Age is not based on vague political assumptions, but on a fully completed and unalterably protected hardware architecture. According to Gary and Daniel, within the transformation corridor leading to the official conclusion of the mandate on January 20, 2029, this main clockwork mechanism operates with mathematical precision to consolidate institutional sovereignty, economic freedom, and undisputed wealth under authentic land law. The nervous system of this allied global infrastructure is formed through the massive processing capacity provided by newly constructed quantum data centers and highly efficient artificial intelligence computing clusters. These centers function as self-sustaining energy links powered by declassified free energy vectors and using closed-loop liquid cooling that reduces actual water consumption to zero. These centers process quadrillions of transaction records at nanosecond frequencies to manage the asset-backed quantum financial system and the authentic land law. The unscannable emission and synchronization grid of this orbital accounting structure is isolated exclusively through the Space Force Starlink satellite constellation and allied cyber command, physically excluding any civilian manipulation. This inviolable and unhackable quantum network establishes the basic benchmark for executing the current migration out of the inherited matrix of debt slavery, smoothly and orderly through the dark side with zero civilian disruption. The QFS reflects any asset movement in real time within the shadows, following the true law of the land and preparing the flawless automatic distribution of high universal income to the human family. The fiat central banking system is completely drained of liquidity through its technological bypass. Because the execution speed of this quantum infrastructure is mathematically unlimited, the inherited order loses all capacity to engineer artificial scarcity, cognitive confusion, or administrative censorship. Command over the movement of value returns inviolably to the living individual who remains on solid ground. The coordinated dismantling of the insolvent civil banking matrix is being carried out through a set of synchronized international agreements and protocols that act as structural fault lines within the current G7 embargo. The global decoupling of unbacked currency from the central bank system is being implemented as planned through the engagement of the bridge infrastructure. This decentralized platform project enables clear, borderless, asset-backed direct transactions between sovereign nations without passing through the legacy SWIFT network. The bridge operates exclusively on the new global data standard ISO 20022. This protocol enforces absolute transparency over every transaction record by anchoring it to verified forensic records of tangible collateral within the ledger, thus crushing the illicit generation of wealth by the tax side. Reset news. Excuse me. We are in the storm. The storm is not yet coming. It's already here. The next 400 years will depend on this moment, on when we expand throughout the solar system around us. This is the end of an era or the beginning of a new golden age, according to Catis de C3. The secret patch continues according to Daniel. A second-level patch is underway in the lower ranks of the cabal, and globalists are disappearing. Planning this operation took 70 years. It will take time for people to believe that things have truly changed and that there is no longer any danger. Revelation. We stand on the threshold of history. The hidden truth, according to Daniel, is about to be revealed. For years, darkness has operated in the shadows through corruption, deception, and power structures that have controlled narratives, economies, and lives. But the storm has arrived, and the veil is being lifted. The hidden truth that so many have fought to bury is erupting in with unstoppable force. We are entering a new world, free from the chains of systemic corruption. A world where transparency replaces secrecy, where justice prevails over the privileges of the elite, and where the people reclaim the power that is rightfully theirs. Where the old system is crumbling before our eyes, institutions that once seemed untouchable are faltering, and what was once hidden in darkness is coming to light. The old system is ending now. This is not just a political moment. It is a global awakening, a reset of truth, accountability, and freedom. A storm is brewing, lightning is illuminating the sky, and the dawn of a new era is on the horizon. The forces of the past are desperate, but they cannot hold back the tide. Final stretch. We are in the final stretch, and the silent war against the rogue team is preparing to go public, according to Brian Cates. They cannot prevent the declassification and exposure of information from the highest levels. They can anticipate the start of the judicial phase, and they have no power to stop it. They know that all the evidence gathered by the sovereign team is waiting to be used against them. Now, with the declassifications underway, the shadow government finds itself in a vacant position. According to Gates, both groups have operated hand in hand with the same institutions, waging a battle of moves, counter-maneuvers, victories, and defeats that remains hidden until the sovereign team achieves enough control to move to the judicial prosecution phase. Gates maintains that the sovereign team cannot yet initiate prosecution because it lacks full control over communications, the armed forces, and executive agencies, especially law enforcement. Until that threshold is reached, its activity is limited to gathering evidence of alleged crimes by the rogue team, with the expectation of removing it from power. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.